Okay, so welcome to your team member training. My name is Rosetta. I'm your onboarding specialist here at 1Password. Thank you so much for taking the time out today to get familiar with 1Password so I can show you how you can use it in your day-to-day life. And when we're done with today's session, you should have all you need to know to get up and running, the basics of 1Password. So for today's agenda, we'll be going over exactly what 1Password is, highlighting some of the benefits of using it, and then I'll show you a live demonstration, which will cover everything from signing up for a new account, exploring some different key features, inputting already existing credentials, and also creating new ones with 1Password in the browser. So the average global cost of a security data breach is pretty staggering. According to our friends at IBM, the latest cost of a data breach was reported 4.45 million globally. So 81% of these data breaches were actually caused by weak or reused passwords. So using a password manager like 1Password can help lower these security risks and also save time throughout your day. So for maximum security, you should be using a different password for all of your logins. I know this can get hard to memorize. We often resort to tracking our passwords on spreadsheets or sticky notes, which is not a very secure way of storing your passwords. So passwords need to be long, strong, and random. You want to feel safe and confident when you are saving your passwords on all of your accounts. So 1Password is a password manager that keeps you, your business information, and all of your colleagues safe online. 1Password helps you break any of those previous bad and unsafe habits by helping you generate, save, and also fill all the passwords for you. You can also share information with the rest of your team, maybe in the company or in specific teams. And then 1Password is available on all of your devices, so Mac, Windows, iOS, Android, and in all of your browsers like Safari, Chrome, Firefox, and more. So you have all of your information for you. When you make any changes to one device, they are immediately reflected everywhere else. Another cool feature is the active security protection. You become alerted when there are password breaches, and you are informed when you're using any weak or vulnerable passwords. So we're going to create our 1Password account. To get started, you will need to contact your local IT to request a 1Password license. So give them an email, and once you request a license for 1Password, you should receive an invite email. And this invite email will invite you to activate your account, and all you need to do is click this Activate Your Account button. It will take you to a browser, and then it will ask you to input details like your name and also the email address that you will be using to log in. Once you've done that, it will ask you to create an account password. Now, your account password is really important because it protects your account in conjunction with another element, which we'll talk about. So your account password, as I mentioned, should be long, strong, and random. You want to avoid using simple words like password or your first name or your pet's name. Something that is easily guessed is no good. So instead, we recommend using a song lyric or a quote that you will be able to remember, but nobody else will be able to tie back to you. Remember, this is the one password you have to remember, so don't make it impossible. Yeah, so make sure it's strong and it's long, strong, and random. So after you create your account password, you should be prompted to download something called an emergency kit. You want to view your emergency kit like a safety net for accessing your information. It's really important you keep this safe because it is the way you gain access into your account on any new browsers and new devices. So your emergency kit will contain 5 key pieces of information. So this is what a safety kit will look like. Those 5 key pieces of information include your email, your sign-in address that you will be using to sign into the account, the email address that you use to sign up, a setup code that will help you log into your account easier, and something called your secret key. Now, your secret key is a combination of 34 letters and numbers, but don't worry, you don't have to memorize it. You'll only ever be asked to input it when you're logging into 1Password on a new browser or a new device. So think of your account password and your secret key as two halves of a whole to create the full encryption of your account. So your account password protects data on your device. So if someone was to access your device or your backups, they would not be able to unlock 1Password without your account password. And this is something only you should know. Now, your secret key protects data off your device. So if someone was to attempt a brute force attack on our service, they would not be able to decrypt your data without your secret key. And this is something we never have. So you can also find your secret key in your account as well, which I will show you in a minute. Finally, this is your unique URL. So this will be the website that you use to sign into 1Password. Team, please do not try to sign into 1Password using onepassword.com because this will not work with your credentials. So you'll have to use this. I would say bookmark it for easy access whenever you want to access your 1Password account on your browser. Right, so now that we've gone over how to set up your account, when you first log into the 1Password account, you will see your homepage. Now, your homepage includes your vaults, and this is how we categorize and organize your data in 1Password. Now, before we get into what vaults and how to use vaults and save items in there, let's first set up the basics of our account. So on the top right-hand corner, you should see a drop-down menu. And in this drop-down menu, you should see a few options. We're first going to go into Get the Apps. Get the Apps is where you can start to download the apps applicable to your device. So I'm using a Mac, so I would download 1Password for Mac for the desktop app. And that will download the desktop app onto my device, and I can log in using this button here. So when I add my account directly, it will help me log in and ask for my secret key. I will also be downloading the 1Password for my browser. I'm using Chrome, so I'll be clicking on this option and making sure that I'm adding this extension to my browser for easy access. It'll ask me to sign in. Hoping that will work. Oh, for some reason I cannot sign in. 2 seconds. Here we go. Took a couple of tries. So once you've signed in, you should pin your browser extension to your browser. So on the top right-hand corner, you should see your puzzle button. On Edge, it might look a bit different, but you'll see 1Password listed here. Once you see 1Password, you want to pin the extension to the browser. This is important because this is going to be how you interact with 1Password on a daily basis with the browser. So click I'm all set, and you're ready to go. So now that you've got all the apps set up, we are going to go back into that drop-down menu and go to My Profile. And in your profile page, this is where you can manage some basic ways to manage your 1Password account. So you can do things like add a profile picture, change your password, manage two-factor authentication, as well as change your language. Here is also where you can find a copy of that secret key and download a copy of your emergency kit. Now, I recommend when you are downloading your emergency kit that you save it somewhere safe, like printing it off and saving it with your important documents like passports or medical documents. and then making sure to delete the emergency kit off your device, or uploading it to a personal cloud storage, so you'll have a digital copy as well. In your profile page, you can also redeem your free families account. Now, your free families account is an excellent way to store all of your personal information like Netflix passwords, medical documents, and credit cards. So it's good that you can maintain good password hygiene across your personal and professional life. So to redeem the free families account, you can click the Redeem Now button. And you can either sign up to a new account or link an existing one. So if you have an existing 1Password personal account, you can link it here, or you can create one that if you don't have one already. And once you click sign up, it will ask you for your personal details. So this is a personal account, so make sure you're using your personal email address. And then you can add up to 4 other people within this account. Now, the only way that your family account and your business account is linked is in terms of the billing. So if you have an existing account, you will no longer have to pay for 1Password, because now that it's connected to your business account, it's taken care for you. And it's the same when you're creating a new account as well. So with your family's account, it will look very similar to your business account. You will have your vaults here, and you will have shared vaults with your family. In the right-hand side, you'll see people. And within your people, you can start adding your family members so they can use 1Password and be safe online too. And I highly recommend that you choose someone from your family that you trust. Hopefully you'll find someone. And you can make them a family organizer. So if you ever get locked out of your family account, then you have someone else to help recover you into the account. All right. So that's how you redeem your free families account. I really highly recommend everyone do this. It's a really great perk that comes with the business account. Okay, finally, on the right-hand side, we want to go into import. And we want to import any of those previous passwords we had in other password managers and import them all into 1Password. Now, you might have passwords stored in Chrome within your browser, or in another password manager like KeePass. If you choose the option that relates to you, you can follow these simple instructions on how to export the data from your previous password manager. And then it will ask you to upload a file within your vault from that export and into 1Password. Once you do that, you can go back into the homepage and then check the vaults that you are available and that are available to you. So you've got your employee vault here, and your employee vault is where you can start importing those personal passwords and start saving new logins as well. This is a vault private to you, so you do not want to add anything in this vault that you wish to share with others. This is a private vault that only you can see. And make sure we're putting work-related data in here only, and any personal data as we put in our family account. Then you might also have access to other shared vaults, and shared vaults are vaults that other people have access to that you can share information with the rest of your team. So I've got a vault here that I'm a part of based on my role or responsibility at the company. So if I click into my vault, you will see your vault view, which is very similar to your desktop app. Now you can start uploading new items within 1Password on this button. And you can see that 1Password isn't just about saving passwords, but also other sensitive information you want to keep secure, like your secure documents, any credit cards, or even passports. One item that I highly recommend you first create is an identity item, which should already be created for you. I have one here as an example. And I can also add additional information like a business address, a business phone number, etc. Now, once I'm happy with all of the fields filled in here, I can start using it. So the best way to use an identity card is when you're filling in a lot of online forms or creating accounts regularly. So I want to create an account on this page called Desert Valley Solutions. With my identity card, as long as my extension is unlocked, it will suggest me my identity card and then autofill all of those fields for me. So I no longer have to manually type it out myself. Finally, when you're creating an account password, you no longer have to think of a really long, strong, and random password. You can just use one of the suggested passwords from our password generator. Then it's asking us if we want to save this login. Before I save it, I can edit the login and it's asking me how and where I want to save this credential. So I can change the name of the credential if I've got multiple accounts on this website. I can also add any tags. So tags are a great way to organize your data. If you have hundreds of credentials, different data within your vaults, you can start adding tags. Finally, you will be asked where you want to save this credential. I'm making sure it's saved in my employee vault. I can create the account and then go back into my vault view in the 1Password tab, and you can see that the credential has been populated in here. One thing to note is that my password is also fantastic, which is the goal for all of my passwords. Now, I might have a credential that I haven't imported from a previous password manager yet, and potentially I've just been using this credential and I've memorized it. I can, of course, add the new item and start populating the login fields. Or what I can do is just log in as usual. So I have an account on this Blue Mountains IT website. Before I save the password and credential within 1Password, make sure both of those fields are filled in, and then click this Save in 1Password button. Once I click this, it will ask me how and where I want to save that credential again. I'm happy with this, so I'll just click Save. Now we'll go back into my Vault view in this tab, and you'll see that the credential has been saved into my employee vault. The difference is that this password is terrible. And if I reveal the password, of course, we don't want to be using password as our password. It's attached to a lot of data breaches, so we want to make something a lot stronger. In the left-hand side of your bar, you'll also see something called the Watchtower. Now, your Watchtower, think of it as an inbox for all of the passwords that need changing within your account. It alerts you for any weak, reused, or vulnerable passwords, and also tells you about any data breaches you've been occurred. So the goal is to have my overall password strength a fully green bar and a high Watchtower score. It's alerting me I have one weak password, and if I click on Show Items, it takes me right back into this credential that I have memorized and created. So I'm going to go ahead and go back into this website to change the password. I've got the website open already, but if you don't, a really cool feature in the browser extension is the open and fill function. So if you've had credentials saved into your account and you just want to open the page and log in, you can just use this open and fill feature. It opens the website for you and also autofills all those credentials. So logging in really just takes one step. Now it's taken me into my profile page, and I'm going to go into the website's security settings to change that really weak password. It'll ask me for my current password, which I can use the autofill feature to fill, and also ask me to create a new password. Again, it's suggesting me a really smart password, but I can also change what this password can be. So if I go into this little button here, I can pull up the password generator that we have attached to the extension, and I can choose from a smart to a random, memorable, or PIN code password. Now, random password, you can go up to 100 characters and decide if you want numbers or symbols. And a smart password will suggest a password that fits the requirements for this website. So I'm going to go ahead and go for a random password with a few characters and numbers and symbols. Once you're happy with this, you can click autofill, and it will autofill both those fields and ask me if I want to update this credential. Make sure to click update on this credential and also submit the actual password change on the website itself. There we go. So if I go back into that vault view again, you'll see that the password has changed to fantastic. And it's no longer part of my weak passwords. I'll go back into my Watchtower, and you'll see that the Watchtower score is very high, and my overall password strength is fully green. So it makes changing and upgrading your security across your accounts really simple. If I go back into this credential, and I want to take a step further and secure this credential with two-factor authentication on the website, I can go ahead and do so. So I'll log into this website. And some websites will give you the option to set up a two-factor authentication to enable a more secure login method. Typically, you would have an authentication app on your phone that you would scan this QR code with, and then that app will generate a 6-digit code every 30 seconds for you. But you can also use 1Password as an authentication app. So if I open that browser extension and I click onto more options, I can choose the option to scan a QR code. As long as this QR code is visible and you click that option, it will now generate that one-time password every 30 seconds for me. I can now use the autofill feature to also put in that code. So the next time I log in, it will also autofill the one-time password for me. Now, this is a really good use case if you are sharing this credential with the rest of your team and you don't want to have just one person with this one-time password. So a great option is to share it with the rest of your team, and you can do so with the move button. So there's two options here. You've got move and you've got duplicate. So moving the credential is moving it out of your employee vault and into another shared vault that you've got access to. Duplicating will copy the snapshot of this credential and then move it into and then copy it into a shared vault. But if you're changing this credential frequently and you want to make sure that they are the same, I would highly recommend you move this credential. You'll move it out of your employee vault and into your shared vault you have access to. Now I can view it in this vault now, and the rest of my team can also use this credential. It's good to keep in mind that you cannot share files attached to this credential because it might come up with an error. So some of the team have been experiencing this. So please refrain from moving those files over and just move in credentials over to shared vaults that don't have any files attached to it. Right, so that's how you securely share and use 1Password within your team. We go back into the vault view. We can again start adding those in credentials into your vault. So that's how you use 1Password in some basic ways. But just to recap what we've gone over today, we've gone over how to sign up for your 1Password account by requesting a 1Password account via your local IT team and then signing up, using 1Password in the browser and the browser extension, and using features like autofill to fill in logins on websites easier, saving items in your vaults, as well as importing items in your vaults, using 1Password to improve your overall password security across all of your accounts, and also redeem your Free Families account as well. So Free Families account, again, you can practice safe habits in both your workplace and your personal life. We've also got some support channels if you are wanting to know more about 1Password. You can contact your local IT teams if you're running into any issues with 1Password. And you can also join your Slack channel, as well as there is a business support number within your My Profile page that you can contact if you're having any issues with 1Password. So I'll just redirect you back into that before I forget. This is the business support number that you can find if you are facing any issues with 1Password as well. So a few different support channels there that you can get in touch with. But I'm also here at the moment, so if you have any questions, please put them in the chat or you can unmute. I'm happy to answer those.
Someone is writing in the chat now, so
yeah,
let's wait.
Fernando as well. Yeah. How can I create a shared vault with my coworkers? Great question. I believe that you can also you can contact your local IT team to create any shared vaults that you'd wish to have with some members of your team.
Yeah, exactly. So I may answer this one. Usually shared vaults are protected in the way that only local IT teams or group IT is the one responsible for creating them. We usually ask to the requester who will be the person with the rights to manage that vault. Then you will have the freedom to invite the members of that shared vault and also select different permissions for each user you want inside that share vault.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome.
What happens if, for any reason, someone ends up a relation with Team Blue? That person should start to pay by himself to keep access. Okay, so I think what you're referring to is the Free Families account. So if someone was to leave Team Blue, what would happen with their personal account? So the answer to that is a good question to start. What would happen is if you leave your business account, your family's account will no longer be free. So you would have to input your own billing details to continue paying for your personal account. Now you can also choose not to continue to pay for it. And what will happen is within those 14 days, it will be in a trial mode so that you can have some time to put in billing details. But after those days, if you choose not to, what your account will do is it will just go in a frozen only mode. So frozen read-only mode. That means that you can still go into the account and see your credentials and logins and different types of data, but you would not be able to add anything new, change anything. It's frozen, so you can't interact with it. You would only be able to see what's currently there at that stage.
About the second question about to getting the training recording, in a few days you will receive another email where we will provide a link with all of the FAQ questions regarding 1Password, and also you will be able to find a specific link to the recording of this training.
Great. Kenneth had a couple of questions at the top there. Would this include the private keys for two-factor authentication that I'm currently using with Bitwarden? So 1Password does support passkeys. So if you want to use passkeys with any websites, etc., then you can do so. But with Bitwarden specifically, I would need to check if it is compatible in that degree. So hopefully I can provide some more information to Tony afterwards, and then hopefully he can answer that question in a bit more detail.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. And then another one he had was, if you work remote, it might help to join via your local browser instead of remote. I think that was, yep, I think that was more of a statement. Okay, let me see. Can you get it to verify multi-factor authentication request when logging in? So you can set up two-factor authentication onto your account if you wish to do so. So what would happen is you can go to your profile page. Under more actions, you will see manage two-factor authentication. You can add two-factor authentication. So the next time you log in, you will need a verification code from on a different authenticator app to then input and log into 1Password. No problem. Great. There's also, did it work also for Firefox browser? Yes, you can do pretty much everything that I've shown you on the Chrome browser. You can also do it on the Firefox browser, as well as Safari and Edge as well, if you're using those. Chrome is just what I'm using at the moment, so that's what I'm using to demonstrate. Nando's got a question around data breaches at 1Password. All companies are exposed to that, and some of the big companies like Apple and Amazon have experienced it. That's a really great question. I'm going to send these resources as well as answer your question here. So the reason our security model has a couple of places in place when we are thinking about if anyone was to attack our systems, if we had a data breach, etc. So at the start of the presentation, when I mentioned your account password, I also mentioned something called your secret key, which you can find in your profile page, as well as your emergency kit. So your account password is obviously very important that you think of a good account password, because it protects your data. If anyone was to gain access into your device, they wouldn't be able to log into 1Password because they shouldn't able to guess or know your account password. Now, if we were talking about someone accessing our servers and they're exposed to our servers, what will happen is they will still not be able to decrypt your data, because we do not have something called your secret key. So your secret key is what you will get when you first sign up to 1Password. This secret key is generated on your device, so it's actually something that we never have. So if someone was to attempt a brute force attack on our servers, they would not be able to decrypt it, because they would need your secret key to decrypt the information that we have on those servers. So without that secret key, which is only something that's generated on your device, cannot be accessed. And you can find a bit more information on those resources that I've sent over as well. It will dive a little bit deeper into that security model that we've got and how we keep our users safe. No problem. Can you use it in two browsers at the same time? Yes, you can. So you can use a Safari and a Chrome at the same time, or you can use 1Password on two different Chrome browsers at the same time as well. There's no restriction on that. I could see that it's possible to import credentials, vaults from LastPass, KeePass, and many other password managers. I wonder whether it's possible to export credentials from 1Password to KeePass or other password managers. So you can export credentials from 1Password from your employee vault, and it will be in an unencrypted file that then you could import back to other password managers. So that is possible, but I'll let Tony decide if that is something that is also recommended within Team Blue.
We usually don't allow that. I mean, security team has already approved 1Password as a password manager official tool for Team Blue. So I think that we shouldn't have any reason to move from 1Password to other ones. But again, if any edge case is here, then you can ping us directly, Juan, and then we can check it together.
Great, thanks, Tony.
Welcome.
No worries. I appreciate all the questions. I'll give it a couple more minutes to see if anyone has any final questions before we jump off.
Yep.
If we're waiting for anyone to add in, I'd be happy to add my experience as a 1Password user. Practically, it's a brilliant tool. The amount of systems that I have to go into on a daily basis, 1Password is in all of the browsers that I use. It remembers the credentials for different accounts that I need, including the multi-factor authentication, so I'm not constantly looking at my phone or anything like that. And it helps with the shared accounts as well. So where we're doing tests with certain devices that we have multiple people trying to access the same things, it keeps it updated. And yeah, it's a really good tool. It makes things a lot easier. You're not constantly checking MFA codes and things like that. As soon as you want to log into something, 1Password can enter that information for you. It makes it a lot easier. So obviously, depending on how many systems you have to log into, you may have different benefits and things, but everything from using it personally to creating a shared vault for your team, everything is quite streamlined. So I'm really happy with this tool, and I'll be helping anyone that needs it with getting set up with created shared vaults and things like that as well.
Great, thanks, Dan. That's great. All right, let me see any other questions. Okay, so I've got a couple of questions here as well. What to do if my secret key is compromised? Great question also. So if you maybe have lost your secret key, or you think for some reason that your secret key is compromised, what you can do is you can generate a new one. So if I go back into my page here. So I don't know why today I'm having such trouble typing in my password. There we go. So within your profile, you should see your secret key here, but you also have an option to regenerate a new one. So for any reason you think that your secret key has been compromised, you can generate a new one here, and you can also save a copy of your emergency kit. Now, for any reason you don't have your emergency kit, you just cannot log in and you cannot get into your profile, and yeah, you just can't log in to regenerate the secret key. What you can do is you can contact your local IT team, and they can help recover your account. So the recovery process is very similar to the one that we've used to sign up. You'll create your new account password. It will generate a new secret key for you, as well as an emergency kit. So first option, go into your profile. If you can't get into your profile, contact your local IT. Okay. Does it bypass the multi-factor authentication request? I'm not too sure what, maybe a bit more context would be. I think what you're trying to say is the multi-factor authentication into the account of 1Password, or multi-factor authentication for other websites in 1Password. It would be good if I could have a bit more clarity on that question so I can help there. To sites, okay. So it does, to bypass, you don't have to put multi-factor authentication into the website. It's an option that you can choose, that you don't have to have. So that's a completely optional option. But if you choose to have it, you can also turn it off anytime. The import went smoothly from Bitwarden to 1Password. Great, congrats. I see it also includes my private keys, so that two-factor authentication works. Great. However, I don't see my private keys on 1Password. Lose access to generate my 2FA with it. Is it saved elsewhere by any chance? Okay, I think because potentially 1Password does not have the...
He already said in the next one that I already found that, so.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Yeah, well, we're just gonna make sure we're gonna get the right information for you for that information as well. Is it compatible with mobile browsers? Yes, so if you want to use 1Password on your mobile, I recommend downloading the mobile app. So the mobile app will be compatible with any browsers you're using as well, and it will have that autofill feature within those browsers too. Okay, perfect. Great. Is there any feature? Okay, so it's recommended to change periodically the passwords. Is there any feature or functionality to help with this process? Short answer is unfortunately no. If you want to change any passwords, you cannot change them within 1Password because we're just storing that information for you and encrypting it. When you change passwords, you have to go into the password, into the website itself that you've used that credential and change the password from the website, and then update that credential with the browser extension. So when you're changing any passwords, you'll see that update button saying, do you want to update this credential? And you can do so just to click update. So it's still a fairly easy process, but unfortunately, it cannot do it within 1Password itself. Give it another couple of minutes. See if there's any last questions.
Yeah, just to finish, I will recap a little bit all of the things that we said about group IT. So if you guys need to get a license, please contact local IT, so they will guide you in the best way to provide a license. Then you will get an email, as Rosetta already showed you. And in the next couple of days, you will receive probably another email where we will attach a URL with the FAQ section where we will try to answer all of the possible questions you could have after this training. And also we will attach a link in the recording session we had today. And I think that if anybody else has questions, I would like to thank all of you for making time in attending this session, and hope that you will enjoy the rest of the afternoon.
Great, thank you so much everyone again for your time today, and I will be sending out some links and resources to help with that learning as well. So some documentation to help you supplement this training session today. So hope everyone found it useful, and if you have any questions, again, those support channels are there for you, and I hope you have a good day.
Yeah, you too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.